a group called Gusto, which is a song and dance group that I and my siblings started a few years back. So in 2014, we wanted to put together like just a variety song and dance group with our friends, with people that we saw were like passionate about music, passionate about theater and singing and dancing, and especially passionate about Jesus and using the arts and their talents in a way that glorifies God without compromising their values or their beliefs. I get to direct it, and I basically just reached out to people I knew who I thought were exceptional. So people who had musical talent, but also just awesome attitudes, very energetic people, but all with different personalities and all with awesome attitudes that were humble and willing to learn and willing to work really hard and encourage each other. And I remember in 2017, I think it was, I really wanted Caitlin to be part of Gusto. I had seen, I don't know when I met her, but I had seen just things about her through performances she had done at Teach, through performances she had done at the HAP, and I just remember noticing a few things that just really stood out as exceptional. Obviously her talent. So her musical skill is like crazy, especially for her age at the time. I was like, how does this little girl know music theory so well and is so expressive and has amazing pitch and all of these things? And she just seemed to love it so much. But then also she was just so like smart in the way that she like interacted with people and was so kind. But what struck me the most, I think, was how humble she was. She was such a team player. And yeah, so anyway, so I was like, oh man, like if I created Gusto for anybody, it's like her. It's like the Caitlin Lazarises of the world. So it ended up, long story short, ended up kind of working out to where she ended up joining in 2017 and was a part of the last 3 Gusto performances that we have done, and has significantly just made the group so much better, not just for the performances, but for the atmosphere and the actual like rehearsal times that we have, which I think is the most important part. The memories that stick out to me the most with Caitlin is all the times I feel terrible for like assigning her the hardest harmony parts, giving her like a last minute trio harmony that's a cappella that she has to learn, just because I knew she could do it. And she was so willing and so teachable. She just proved again and again and again, like I could put her in places where I wouldn't be afraid of her doing her work or being responsible or making sure she knew her dance or her singing harmony, because she just was responsible. She was always so reliable.
Oh no! Oh yes! Try all of column B.
I was kind of forced into it by my parents. It's kind of embarrassing now because I really love it and I like every year. I'm really excited to do it. But when it first started out, not a lot of my friends were doing it. I was actually one of the younger ones compared to Joel. But the Bowers were just like, hey, we're putting on this show. Do you guys want to be a part of it? And Maddie and Kelly were like, absolutely. And then Mom and Dad were like, we need to get rid of the 2 younger ones for the night too. So they were like, eh. So me and Joel got pushed in involuntarily. But over the years, having more friends come in and actual like people that I knew come in, it got even better and better. So that's how I got in. One thing that I remember about Caitlin in Gusto was when we were doing the Greatest Showman medley, and she went up and sang, and I remember her singing it and just every night being like, wow, she is really good at singing. Like, it was really weird because I never really thought about it, and I never was like, ever like, oh, Caitlin's gonna sing tonight. I just was like sitting there, and every time it would just be like, oh yeah, Caitlin sings that part. She's so good.
This is the moment you waited for. Been searching in the dark, your sweat soaking through the floor. And all that was real was left behind. It's fire, it's freedom, it's flooding open. The world becomes so fancy, it's more than you could ever be. Dreaming with your eyes wide open. You know you can't go back again. The world that you were living in, you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. The world becomes so fancy, it's more than you could ever be. Dreaming with your eyes wide open. You know you can't go back again. The world that you were living in, you're dreaming with your eyes wide open. Dreaming with your eyes wide open.
So those are kind of like the external things, and the things that have really, really impacted me and inspired me to be a better person is her patience, her humility, just her teachability, even though most of the time she knew what she was talking about musically better than I did, and yet she just always had such an awesome attitude.
I hear a voice and he calls me redeemed. When others say I'll never be enough, and greater is the one living inside of me than he who is living in the world.
How did I get into Gusto? My first year was 2016, and I was just beginning my performing career, if you will. And I heard it through the grapevine that a couple of homeschoolers performing with me during the HAP performances said you should try this thing out called Gusto. And the Bauer family runs it. And I was like, all right, we'll see what it is. We'll see what it's made of. And I did it for 3 years, and it was great. It was the best thing ever. I love it.
Praise the Spirit, 3 in 1.
can remember Caitlin being one of the very, very, very few people who didn't have her shirt signed, because that was just not her thing. My favorite memories probably with Caitlin didn't even really happen on performance night or during rehearsal at Gusto. It's these spontaneous moments we have rehearsing in the car or rehearsing at her house. And I mean, Caitlin just knew every part. Caitlin would know the parts that she wasn't even supposed to know. And I'd spontaneously figure out, oh, I'm actually getting tips and tricks from Caitlin, who's now teaching me my own part that she's not even supposed to know. But those are probably my favorite memories because you can perform those any time of day and any time of night with her, wherever and whenever. You don't have to have a stage. You don't really have to have more custodians. You get to have those moments with Caitlin singing and doing whatever. So.
By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond, where we two have passed so many blessed days, the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. You'll take the high road and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland of Wardy. But me and my true love will never meet again. The bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
And yeah, she's something really, really special and is gonna clearly go far in what God has for her. So I know I've been blessed. I know that other custodians have been super blessed, just to have her part of my life and as a friend. So thank you.